Right, so welcome back. Welcome back to another epic podcast with your host, Tamim25. That's me. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm Tamim25, and welcome back to another epic episode with me and the T4 Army for your what is this catchphrase? Welcome to your weekly dose. New catchphrase. Welcome to your weekly dose with your host, Tamim25. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm Tamim25, and welcome to your weekly dose with me and the T4 Army as we embark on this epic, fanatical journey in the world of mass media and breaking news that's happening all the time, every day throughout the week. Some of the news may seem a little older, but it's not. It's exclusive, okay? Exclusive news for an exclusive channel. So if you guys wanna get involved, you know what you gotta do. You gotta slap a like on it, and then you gotta. What the hell has happened to the browser? Okay, and you gotta obviously. What else have they got to do? Oh yeah, slap a like. Subscribe with notifications on if you enjoy the content that you see here today. It's not very scripted, and that's because I'm not very well, so I'm not quite with it. And we've already had to do this number 2. This is take 2, which is probably a really bad second version. But literally, the first story we're going to talk about, we're talking about it again because we just did this, and you can hear anyone's voice. So without further ado, we'll jump into this little podcast. And if you guys, this is the 3rd episode, and if you guys don't know what this is all about, basically we get together every single week on a Friday and we have a little chat. We talk about whatever's current, whatever's happening, and whatever you want to talk about. And then we broadcast it. I invite guests on the show, and with us today we have some exclusive boys and girls. And the first boy is obviously Mr. Exodus D. What up, Exodus?
Yo, 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 what up, everybody?
It's your boy, Exodus D. Also, we
It's
have
your white
got
boy.
with us 2 fantastic ladies. One of them is maybe a fraction annoying than the other one. I'm not 100% yet. We're still debating on it. We have got a vote going, so if you guys want to go check out that vote, you know what you need to do.
Subscribe.
And basically, we're trying to find out who's more annoying, one or the other. I'll leave you to decide. Check it out below. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce, obviously, Miss Crazy Holes, all the way from America. What up, Crazy?
Hi.
And the second lady is also from the United States of America, and that is Miss Tara K. Dick. What's up, Tara?
Hello.
So basically, we have been doing this for 3 weeks now, roughly, and it's been interesting. It's been an interesting road with interesting questions and interesting conclusions. And one of the first things that has come to mind is, the guests are you guys. You are the guests. If you want to feature on the podcast, all you got to do, head over to discord.com and just drop I want to feature on the podcast. If you've been a long time subscriber, or if I know you a little bit from live streams and stuff, you'd be more than welcome. If I don't know you, then most likely you won't be welcome. But try, all I can say is try. If you got a good opinion, I might take you on. But anyway, we'll start off with the first story of today, and that is the Jennifer Lawrence little scandal that happened over at The Guardian. Gave a quick little break on this little Jennifer Lawrence issue. And this was around the dress that Jennifer Lawrence decided to wear. And some people called her out, saying that the dress is sexist and is inappropriate, and this is the Hollywood bigotry at its finest. This is what this is, okay? Hollywood are making these beautiful young ladies dress naked, and the guys can wear what the fuck they like. I mean, these four gentlemen here are all wearing fairly warm clothing, and the girl is naked, kind of, pretty much. So basically, there's a big ass shout about this, and people were like, "This can't be. We cannot function as a society with this outrage happening." So basically, I brought the guests on today to have a little discussion to find out, is it such a big deal, or has everyone blown shit out of proportion? And just to start this thing off, I'd like to read Jennifer Lawrence's little tweet that she tweeted out over at Facebook. And then she tweeted it afterwards. I know it's confusing. It's fine. I'm confused already. Basically, she tweeted out and then Facebook. Wow, I don't really know where to get started on this. Jennifer Lawrence wearing a revealing dress in the cold controversy. This is not only utterly ridiculous, I am extremely offended. This Versace dress was fabulous. You think I'm going to cover the gorgeous dress up with a coat and scarf? I was outside for like 4 minutes. I would have stood in the snow for that dress because I love fashion, and you get the rest. So basically, we'll jump in on this, and I want to bring obviously Miss Holly into this, Miss Crazy Holes. Holly, let us know what is your take on this. Do you think that this dress is too much? Could it have been done more delicately, or do you think maybe she's free to do what the fuck she likes? Oh, straighten that voice. We want to hear you loud and clear.
Leave me alone. I've got a cold coming.
Oh, she's got one coming. I've got one going. Okay, let's hear it.
I think that she's free to wear whatever the hell she likes. And to be honest, if she was only going to be outside for 5 minutes doing that photo shoot, then it's no problem. I don't see the reason why she can't wear that dress. And at the end of the day, she loves fashion. And, a lot of people love to wear fashion. I mean, come on. Like, people wear a T-shirt and a vest, a T-shirt and shorts in, like, these kinds of weathers because they're too used to it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So you think it's fine? There's not a big deal.
No, she can wear whatever she wants. She's a human being. She has every right to do what she wants, and she has every right to wear what she wants.
Okay. So I mean, I'll bring this over to Miss Tara K. What is your take on this little Jennifer Lawrence fiasco? And I mean, the thing is, the real question here is whether Jennifer Lawrence, right? Is it fair that Versace prepared a piece of clothing that was this revealing, considering they know what the weather was going to be like today? I mean, surely there must be more choice within a wardrobe to be able to keep this young lady well-dressed or warmer, just like the rest of the gentlemen who were there, who are also looking very fashionable, but not as revealing as she is. I mean, is there a double standard here, or are we just reading too much into it?
I think that everybody's reading too much into it. If she didn't want to wear it, I think she would have had a choice. Like, I don't think they bring out just one dress and say, this is what you're going to wear, and you have no choice. I think as actors and actresses, if they have a choice in what they're going to wear, that they have different outfits that they can choose from, that they can wear.
Right.
They don't just have one set dress that they're going to be able to choose from.
I mean, obviously, you being a photographer and everything, I mean, you've got some idea, kind of like these kind of things, taking pictures of people and stuff like that. I mean, have you ever had to come across a time where you've had to photograph someone and they've chosen, they've opted in themselves that they want to dress a certain way in order to get a certain type of picture done?
Right. I was actually just talking to the guys earlier. A few years ago, I was taking a picture of a set of twins that I take pictures of every year. And I did a winter photo shoot, and one of the girls decided she wanted to wear a dress, and it was actually shorter than what Jennifer was wearing in the picture, and it was in the middle of the winter. And she
Wow.
wanted to lay on the ground and take pictures. And me, as a photographer, I have to be at the same angle, so I had to lay on the ground with her. And we were outside for over an hour taking those pictures. So it
Wow.
was her
Okay.
choice, and she took the pictures. So
Yeah. And I take it those pictures came out amazing, right?
yes, and they loved the pictures, and she wanted to do it in the cold. So people
Well, there
have
you go.
their own. They have their own choice in what they want to do.
Yeah. No, and definitely, I think that's all part of free speech and being a free human being and being able to express yourself, uh, how you feel, how you want. And I just want to bring Mr. Exodus D up in here. So Exodus, I mean, being from a guy's perspective, what's your take on it? I mean, it's a plus for us guys seeing Jennifer Lawrence looking as marvelous as she always is. But is there more to this? Should there be a fairer way? Is there not a way that they should have provided her maybe with more choice, or is it just like, look, she's a fashion icon, she loves fashion, she was gonna wear the most revealing thing anyway? What do you think?
I feel like she was just wearing what she felt like she looked the best in, and if she felt
Mm,
like she looked the best in that, even if it wasn't like weather friendly, she was gonna do it
yeah.
no matter what because she just feels like she's like proper like looking good in the dress, and no one can take that from her. If she feels comfortable with it, why bother like trying to change her? It's her
Okay.
life.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Well, the thing is, obviously, we spoke about this story a little while ago, and obviously, something happened which we didn't know was going to happen, but it did anyway. This is my podcast. It's how it is. And basically, we always, whatever we talk about on the podcast, I always like to get you guys' opinions on it. So if you are watching this podcast after the video has come out, please be sure to drop a comment in the bottom. Let us know what you think. What's your take on the whole Jennifer Lawrence scandal? Is there a scandal, or are people just blowing something out of proportion? Which is like she says in her own Facebook post, that it's distracting people's attention from what's real at current times. And we know there's a lot of stuff going on worldwide that could get more attention than her dressed up in a more revealing outfit than what she's used to being seeing in. So, let us know in the comments down below. If you're watching us live, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear what you guys have got to say. And if the comments are good, we'll repeat them back in the chat. And obviously, don't forget, guys, if you want to join us on the podcast, very easy to do. Check us over at discord.com. Drop us a like on the video, subscribe, and let us know you want to be in the podcast for next week as a guest. And if you've been a loyal, long-term subscriber, you will be featured. It's that easy. I mean, literally, these guys have been with us for ages, and yeah, they're our regular guests on the podcast to help us sort of iron out these creases in these stories. Also, if we can move swiftly on to the next story, which is what we were going to get onto anyway, which is obviously the 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 sad story that we have to report on. It's just. I mean, I don't even know how to say it. It's just the way it is, I guess. I hate to say that it's just the way it is, but there's no way of talking about it than what is the facts. I mean, there was a terrible shooting that took place in Florida. If you guys haven't heard about it, Jesus Christ, where have you been? But basically, there was a really, really touching story about the victims of the 17 that were killed during this mass shooting by one of the former students. Or was he a former student? Was he a current student?
He was a former
Former
student.
Former student.
He got
And
expelled.
I mean, I don't really like to talk about the person who did the crime because they're, as far as I'm concerned, they're a piece of shit, scumbag of the earth. Doesn't need fame. Doesn't need to be elevated to that status for any reason because they are no one. basically. You know, the people who we should root about, the people who we should be talking about, are the people who got caught up in the crossfire, the people who were there, the people who try to stop this shit from happening. Normal civilians, normal day-to-day people like me and you, who in the line of danger, in the line of tyranny, we come up, we show our faces, we make ourselves present, and we try to get the best outcome. And unfortunately, I mean, 17 people died, plenty of survivors, but these are the 17 sort of people who did actually they lost their lives. There's Alyssa Al-Hadef, 14 years old. She was a Parkland travel soccer. She was a player there, and you know, unfortunately, she lost her life during this horrible attack. Scott Beagle, 35, also was a teacher, geography teacher. He lost his life during this mass chaos over at this school. And also Martin Anguino, 14. He lost his life, obviously one of the students there. You know, and the thing is, as you can see from these photos that we're going to go through, is there was no target of race or religion or gender, or everyone got it. It didn't matter what you were. It didn't matter what you did. If the kid was just shooting anybody. You know, you got Nicholas Doret, who was 17. Also, he went to the University of Indianapolis and was recruited by the university as a swim team, and he was a freshman, and also he suffered the same consequence. This guy here was actually, he's like one of the big names that's come up. Aaron Fees, who's 37. He was one of the guys who actually got in the way of fire so that the other students could survive, which was amazing. I mean, he was the assistant football coach, and there is so many people to look at. I mean, there is just picture after picture. There's 17 different people who have been on the news. If you guys have been watching the news, you'll know all about it. And literally, I just wanted to kind of take this time to celebrate. I mean, when you guys watch the video back, please pause and, you know, have a moment of silence to kind of think about the families of these people, who what they must be going through at the moment with having lost, you know, so many young people in their community, which I think is terrible. It's a sad thing to happen. But the thing is, the kind of question I want to bring up around this shooting is, I mean, first of all, obviously it's a really sad thing that's gone on. But I mean, how can we prevent these kind of crazy outbreaks from happening? You know, in today's world. I mean, I'm not really looking at America in particular, but obviously being a country which is where you're able to own firearms, unlike the UK where you can't actually own a gun. Even if you legally have one, you can't actually use it only in designated firing ranges where you have to have a license. The gun has to be locked and shit. It's like a long thing. But obviously in America, it's a very, very different kind of ruling. So obviously I want to bring Tara into this as the first point of call, and I want to get her opinion. Where do you stand? How can we help stop these kind of things from happening in the future? And I mean, is there a way that it can actually be stopped, or are we just set up to fail?
Like, I think no matter what you do, like there are gun laws, but no matter what you do, people are gonna go around them and find a way to get guns or other weapons. If they're gonna do something, they're gonna do it no matter what.
So
there's crazy people in the world, and they're gonna find a way to hurt whoever they want to hurt, no matter who it is.
I mean, do you think having gun laws to prevent certain people from getting hold of firearms does make any difference, or is it the sense of, you know, someone might be completely fine, goes under the radar, never has an issue, and then one day gets fired from work, goes home, gets their handgun, goes out on the street and just shoots anybody? I mean, is it as simple as that they could just put a law and it would be it, the problem be solved? Or is it more of the sense of there is no way of controlling this because it could be anybody.
Yeah, I don't think there really is a way to control it because anybody could snap at any time. Someone could just come up with a reason and be like, "Oh, I had such a bad day. Let me just go take it out on somebody because my day was horrible and I just want somebody to pay."
I mean, do you think it's quite scary that a lot of these kind of things that are going on at the moment is surrounding like schools and colleges and places of education? As they're classed in America, a lot of these places are gun-free zones, and I mean, is that a problem in itself? The fact that the place is a gun-free zone, isn't that just like an open ranch for someone to go in and just open fire because they know no one there will have a weapon?
Well, with this particular incident, there was an actual cop right at the school. So that cop actually had a weapon, but he didn't go in and do anything about it when the shooting started.
So maybe there's a little scandal there, a little controversy that maybe we may need to look into. I don't know. I mean, Tara's bringing up some interesting questions. I mean, apart from that, is there anything else you wanted to add to this particular story, Tara?
Everybody says that guns should be banned, but it's not the actual. I mean, yeah, the gun. People are shooting the guns. The guns are actually killing people, but it's not the guns. It's the people. Like I grew up with guns in the house. My dad's a hunter.
Yeah.
And I didn't take I was bullied in school and I didn't take the gun and go shoot people up because I was bullied. You can't use because you were bullied as a reason to go shoot people. It's just.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been hearing that a lot, like ban guns, ban guns. But there is a really interesting statistic that I did want to bring to light about this whole gun issue, in the sense of people say, you need to ban the guns. There should be no firearms. If there's no firearms, there's no crime. But the thing is, in the UK, there's no guns here, but the crime rate is way higher than it is in America. For example, for every 100,000 people that there was crime committed to, there was 2,000 committed in the UK and only 466 in America out of 100,000 cases. So for every 100,000 people, only 466 cases in America and over 2,000 cases in the UK. And we have no guns in this country that people can access. So it's not. I mean, I'll have to agree with Tara on this, in the sense that you can't call the guns the killers because they don't actually do anything unless you pick it up and you use it.
Not every crime is committed by a gun. I mean, there's knives, there's your own hands, there's anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Can
No.
be a
Exactly.
Weapon.
Exactly. No. Definitely. Okay. Thank you for that, Tara. Anyway, I want to bring Mr. Exodus D into this conversation. Exodus is quite a young guy, and I'm sure he's got some extra bits he wants to add. Exodus, what is your take on this Florida shooting, and where do you stand with guns and the law?
I mean, as someone that's never had anybody in their family like have a gun, I don't really have an opinion. But the situation in Florida, there were actually like countless. There were like at least 2 or 3 reports of him being reported to the FBI and to the local police that nobody did anything about. Like he put a comment on a YouTuber's video saying like, I want to be a professional school shooter, but nobody did like anything. Like the guy that uploaded the video like took a screenshot and sent it to the FBI, but the FBI did like literally nothing. Like they didn't like investigate it or anything.
So
they didn't, like,
there's a neglect here. There's not enough. Like there's signs that people are gonna split. People are gonna do something crazy, but people aren't taking action. Like the authorities getting these information, but they're doing nothing with it. So do you think like the system is failing simple things, ABC stuff that people are bringing to light, but no one's paying attention to it? Do you think that's what's happening then? Is this how these sort of tragic massacres are taking place?
A lot of them so far have been that way. Like there's been some people that like that like report them to people, but then they're like, sorry, they haven't done anything. We can't do anything yet they haven't done anything. And then
Yeah.
like weeks or even days later, they just do it, and then the cops like we should have like I'm thinking everybody's like thinking like we should have just done something because that's a terroristic threat. Like he would also do like he would also say like gun threats and stuff to like his like little like adopted family. Like
Mm.
he would like tell him like I'm gonna shoot you or some shit like that, and then just they've also told the local police that he's threatened them with guns, but they even did nothing. So this is just all around just a fucked up like situation with him.
So, do you
His
think
violence and like
banning guns in America would fix this problem?
not really, because then everybody would go like ape shit uh because because a lot of people still believe in like right to bear arms, but I do believe that we should be stricter on who we give them to. So we
Mm.
shouldn't just get rid of it completely. We should just make it like a more harder of a process to get it, instead of just making it
I
just
mean,
like
the thing
okay,
is, they were
you just
talking
gotta
about
do
banning
something.
like 208 weapons, but one of the politicians that were one of the senates was talking about was that the weapons that they're planning to ban, there's identical weapons available on the market that are just as powerful that aren't going to be within the ban that they were speculating to make happen, uh, and that was only
Yeah,
because they didn't have an actual grip. They didn't have a rubberized grip. So
yeah,
what he was saying is that the guns that are, going to be looking at being illegal, all you'd have to do is remove the rubber gripping from the weapon, and it would be deemed as a legal weapon because that is what classes it as an illegal firearm. So there is a lot of loopholes within even
there are.
trying to control who owns a weapon, who has access to guns, and so on and so forth. And I mean, like I'm saying before, I mean, in the UK, we don't have any weapons here, like weapons like that, like guns and
Yeah,
stuff. But the crime rate is way higher. Like serious assault crime is a lot higher than it is in the United States. And you have guns, free will, pretty much on every state. And I mean,
basically.
really, we can't be holding guns accountable to human
No,
action. I mean, they're just there as a tool. I mean, you could say the same thing about a vehicle. I mean, if, a certain manufacturer of car, their car is what's running over people more often, or what psychos are deciding to use to run people with more often, you could end up penalizing vehicles manufacturers for, this is the most choice after car that suicide people use, or whatever. It's becoming a bit ridiculous. I mean, there must be a better way. I mean, what do you think?
well, I think like because something you may not know is that for here in America at least, like cops, they have to pass like a physical like lie detector test to like
Mm,
be a part of the force, just to make sure they're not gonna do anything like bad and shit and be corrupt. So I'm
yeah, yeah.
thinking we should do that, but plus also do like an actual like full on like mental like breakdown of the person, like do like a bunch of like mental like exams on them just to make sure they're completely like sound
They're saying,
before
yeah.
we actually
No.
give them a gun. We should just make it a more difficult process to get a gun rather than just going there and just doing a couple simple things.
Great. So it'd be like there'd be more hurdles for them to jump through in order to be able to access weapons.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Crazy. What is? I
Mhm.
mean, obviously you've moved from the UK, the most dangerous country in the whole world, to the United States of America. On paper, is the safer move, but with all this gun violence that's going on over there and the mass killing of innocent people at different venues, really, but mainly it seems to be within these gun-free zones. I mean, you being a new citizen of the country, what is your take on this? I mean, how can you help the Americans make this situation more contained?
Well, in my opinion, I mean, there's better ways to defend yourself, you know. Guns are like a plague here, you know. I believe that they are wrong, but in some sense, there is a better way to defend yourself, really. You know, the fact that some of my friends who I work with colleagues, you know, they can easily walk into a gun shop and buy a weapon that
Yeah.
really belongs in the army for under $1,000. And,
Hmm.
you know, and one of the arguments that, because I also talk to my friends about this, and one of
Yeah.
their arguments is that I'm hearing is guns don't kill people, people kill
Hmm.
people. And it's
Yeah.
true,
100%. Yeah.
you
Agree
know.
with that, definitely. I
And
mean, do you think the access is too easy in America?
I believe so, yes. I believe that if, like how Exodus said, you know, I think trying to jump the hurdles and trying to make assessments and things like that to see if you can be eligible for one, then it probably make it easier. I mean, having that gun control would probably make it easier than just banning it, because, like Exodus said, if you took all the guns away,
Yeah.
USA wouldn't be USA like it is now.
So do you think there'd be mass hysteria if the guns were all banned?
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper to get some
Mm.
basic self-defense classes, which would educate on how to defend yourself and those around you. And it's never out of reach, you know. There's always places around, you know. It's
I mean, the thing
always
is, just to put a question to you, really, is if they brought this new gun law into play, I mean, what would happen for those people who already own a firearm? I mean, what if they went under some sort of assessment and it was found that actually you can't own a gun anymore because your score is above par. It's not within the controlled sort of category where we feel you'd be safe with a weapon, and their gun is taken from them or is removed from them, or they lose the eligibility to own a firearm. Where, I mean, wouldn't that in itself cause some mass hysteria and some panic? I mean, I'm sure there'd be people who would talk about their experience of losing their firearm and stuff, and I'm sure it would cause some sort of controversy within how the assessments are done and so on and so forth. I mean, what do you think? I mean, would it be a fair system, or would some people losing their guns, it would just be an unfair thing? It's like kind of like doing what they did in that film with Tom Cruise, where, in Minority Report, where you're kind of like prejudging what someone would do under the right influences, as it were. I mean, you can't say people are going to do bad things before they do the bad thing. They may think a bit, they might dream about it, but unless they exercise that actual thing, I mean, what wrong are they actually doing? I mean, it's just a question. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, in one sense, if guns were to be banned, criminals would just move on to something else, you know? They'd move on to
Yeah.
something like knives, baseball bats, drugs, hit and run with cars, which they're already still doing at the moment, and sometimes even their own hands. I mean, you know.
I mean, the thing is, if we talk about knife crime, weapons like baseball bats and even cars, right? Their range is quite limited. Like, if you had a knife, there's only so many people you could kill before being maybe overpowered by a number of people. If you had a baseball bat, highly unlikely you'd be able to kill more than one person. Even with a car, people could run out of the way because you can only turn a certain direction and you'd only be able to deceive so many people from being run over, unless you were driving extremely slow. That way, you probably wouldn't kill anyone in the first place. You'd just
Yeah.
injure a hell of a lot of people. So, I mean, we can't really compare the impact of firearm, because a firearm, you can stand in one position and you can let rip down a whole high street, like in a shopping mall or something, and you could tear the whole place up, and everything would get it. It doesn't matter whether it was an old person, a baby, everyone is in firing range.
Yeah.
How can we justify the level of that actual action?
Well, I'd say probably, to be honest, in a way, thinking about it, you could easily walk into Target or Walmart
Yeah.
and easily buy a kitchen knife. They're so much more easier to buy than a gun nowadays because they're
Right.
part of the kitchen range. But I've noticed in the UK, they've now started to put the kitchen knives in, those lock-up things.
The
where
lock
there's-
units, the lock
yeah,
units.
they're now
Yeah.
starting to
Yeah.
put those in the lock-up things, which I don't know, because it's a very hard one. But in my opinion, I think background checks should be run on anyone who wants to buy them to make sure they're not a criminal, they're not mentally ill or have a family with a criminal history.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the background checks for new owners, fair enough. Sounds like a great plan. But the question that I'm finding hard to answer is, what about those who already own a gun? How do you justify? How can you put in place a way, like a natural way, that's not gonna cause panic, it's not gonna cause outrage, it's not gonna cause, massive hysteria when people are assessed who already have a gun and then are told you no longer can have a weapon? Isn't that opening up the realms of what we have in the UK, of the underground gun culture, where you hear of gangs of different neighborhoods who have weapons like firearm, which are illegally obtained and aren't licensed, aren't registered, no one knows where they came from. The safety of the weapon is unknown, whether it will backfire, whether it will explode in your hand or whatever. How? I mean, I'll bring the question to all of you guys on the panel, and anyone who's on the stream. I mean, how can you control that sort of possibility of there being a mass hysteria if someone is because what could happen is that you start taking weapons for certain people, and then people are like, holy shit, I still want a firearm. Then there's someone who will provide that weapon illegally because there's a market for it. Because right now there's no market because it's all legalized. You can legally go and obtain a firearm. It's registered. You have a license for it. In some states, you're allowed to conceal and carry. In some states, you can't conceal and carry, and so on and so forth. So the thing is, there's laws that are surrounding that. That inability to create the sort of dark side of the arms industry that exists in the UK that doesn't really exist in America. So how can you combat these? Because if you do one, you're going to trigger something new, and that new thing is going to be even more difficult to control than the other thing was in the first place. I mean, I'll open it up to all of you guys. I mean, who wants to go first? I mean, what are you guys are thinking about the sort of points I'm raising?
Well, I mean, the one thing that the U.S. does is that convicted felons can't own a gun and they can't get a gun whatsoever. So, like, even for like a minor crime, if you're a convicted felon, you can't own any type of weapon or at least a gun. And then also,
But
like,
that's
for people that
legally,
already
right? That's
have it,
legally. You got to obtain it legally.
yeah,
But
they
even
can't.
those
They can't
felons,
legally get a gun.
exactly. So the thing is, there is an industry for it, but it's not huge because it's a
Yeah.
minimal. It's a small number of people who still want to own a firearm because of their background or whatever they've done has stopped them from being able to obtain weapons and whatever. But they still obtain it somehow illegally and commit more crime or whatever. So that's on a minimal scale. That's on a very tiny sort of minority scale. What I'm talking about is that if general population are being called in to have assessments who legally own weapons and then are told you can't own those weapons anymore because of a scoring system which determines whether
Everybody's
you are
gonna find a way
legally
back.
sane or insane to own one. So then it would create a bigger history. There'd be more people looking for illegal weapons, which then would create a market for that. So how do you combat that? How can you make that, because how can you stop this kind of shit from happening? One, and two, how can you stop the hysteria that would happen from bringing in some sort of law to control people's ability to access weapons? I mean, Tara, you having family members who own weapons already. I mean, what do you think? Where are we? Where should we go? How can we take this forward? Oh, is Tara there?
I'm here thinking.
Oh, she's thinking. She's thinking. Okay, while she's thinking, Exodus, what was you saying?
I was gonna say if you as long as there's a black market or some sort of market where you can illegally get stuff, there's no stopping anything. Unless the U.S. puts restrictions on every type of gun selling or black market website or anything for the U.S. There's no way to stop it.
Right. So we're just doomed.
Yeah, it's either we have censorship for certain shit or we're doomed.
Yeah, 'cause no matter what, if they want a gun, they're gonna get a gun.
I mean, is there a way to control this, Tara? I mean, you knowing about how weapons are obtained and used, and having family members who have weapons and being, growing up around firearm, can you see what I mean by if there was a control? I mean, people that would be maybe asked to go in to have an assessment made. Some of them may lose their weapons. Some of them may keep their weapons. But what would those people who lose their weapons would think? And what would they do to obtain one? Because surely people are not just going to say, okay, fine, I can't have a weapon anymore and that's it. Joe can have one, but Steve can. So, I mean, what do you think?
I think, most people that have them, that if they lose their weapons, they would just do whatever they can to get them back, even if it's to go, Exodus was saying, go on the black market and get one any way they can, because they're used to having them, even if it's just 100, just to have it for protection or whatever.
Yeah. Right. Anybody want to make any final sort of last remarks on this particular topic?
Nope. I've spreading my opinions.
Okay. So as always, on the 2in25 podcast, I'd like to obviously pass a question off to you guys. Whether you're watching us live, whether you're watching us on the playback, please drop a comment down below at the bottom of this video and let us know. I mean, what's your opinion? Where's your take? Where do we draw the line? Is there a way America can control these kind of mass murdering psychopaths that are using weapons to commit these crimes? Not necessarily, the guns don't shoot by themselves, as the pun goes. So let us know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys about this particular topic. And before we move on to the next topic, I want to just take this time just to make a quick announcement of our beautiful sponsors who help to make this show possible for you guys to hear. And the first one is obviously Cinch Gaming. If you guys haven't checked out Cinch Gaming, be sure to check them out. They're one of the best at making amazing controllers for your awesome gaming needs. Be sure to check them out. Custom controllers at the cheapest price. ever in existence. Link is in the description as always. And don't forget to use your code, the T4 Army, to grab yourselves the most exclusive discounts known to mankind. Also, don't forget to go check out those guys over at cdkeys.com as well. CD Keys being one of those fundamental cool people who make sure you can buy the cheapest PS Plus, Xbox Live, and games on the internet. If you guys want to check them out, the links are down in the description down below. Be sure to go check them out. That way you know exactly what you're getting for your buck. Literally, it's worldwide service available everywhere. Also, we have got Razer up in the house. Razer obviously providing us with the most amazing, up-to-date PC accessories and PCs in general, all for your gaming needs. Be sure to check out Razer.com. The link's in the description, and also don't forget to use your discount code as appropriate for whatever you're purchasing from them. And also, don't forget to go check out the brand spanking new merch shop. It's the biggest supporter of the channel. Be sure to go check that out. Brand new merchandise dropped just recently for you guys. We got an awesome 15% off. Use the discount code 15off18 to grab yourself an awesome 15% off your basket on everything. That's right, everything. We got brand new merch up in there, new designs. Check them out. See if you like one. Pick yourself one out. Hey, buy 10. You get 15% off. So be sure to go check that out if you haven't done so before. And as some of the guys who have owned the products before from us, they know the quality is there. It's proper quality. There's no messing about. But I want to move on. Obviously, we've kind of touched on the whole shooting that happened in Florida. It's a very sad situation that has happened there. And we've also kind of crossed about gun ownership in America. But there is a deeper part to this story. And the deeper part of this story is about the international comparison of gun-related killings as a percentage of all homicides. That's right. This is the kind of level of deaths that occur within set countries. We're using the US, England and Wales, Canada, and Australia as a sort of like representation of the kind of gun crimes that I've committed. And this is just gun related. This is not to do with the stat that I spoke about earlier on, which is to do with serious crime. This is to do with homicides. This is specific to gun crime only. And I mean, in the US in 2016, you had a percentage of 64% of gun crime committed like it's homicide. In England, there was only 4.5%. In Canada, there was 30.5%, and in Australia, there was 13%. Now, bearing in mind, the US and Canada have pretty much the same gun laws. Ownership of weapons is actually more in Canada than it is in the US, but the law is pretty much the same of how you can use your weapon and so on and so forth. Obviously, in England, it's illegal to own firearm, and in Australia, it is legal, but you have the license is literally like very, very specific as to how you can own a gun in Australia. So just kind of like topping on this, what do you got? I mean, that is pretty scary stuff. I mean, that is some high numbers. 64% over the neighboring country, Canada, of 30.5%. What do you think? Exodus, I mean, what is this statistic telling us?
That the people in the U.S. don't really like. It just tells us that people in the U.S. are just more like not as mentally sound when it comes to weapons as Canada is.
So, do you think the US is just insane with their guns? That's all it is. It just there's no you know, like how they say, like Italian people, they drink wine. but they don't get it hammered on the wine. They just drink it. It's like a cultural upbringing thing, you know. But with maybe the US and the gun thing, it's not a natural thing. It's like a patriot thing. It's like, you know, you gotta have a gun kind of thing. I don't know. What is happening? Why is your neighbor country, why does it have near enough half of incidences of homicide with gun crime that it does in the US? I mean, what do you think, Crazy?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't personally, in my opinion, I mean, I don't look too much into this because I just find that I don't really have a much big opinion on it. But I just find that looking at the statistics, that 64% is really huge compared to.
It's a lot. It's a big number. It's a big number
compared to the little.
And Canada's just across the border. It's just neighboring country. Same laws, same gun laws. You know.
Yeah.
And it's half. There's half. I mean, that's bad in itself, to be honest. But you know, 60. I mean, are people? I mean, you've been living in America for a short while. Do you think they're just reckless with the weapons in certain areas than other areas? Are they more carefree with the way weapons are used and how they're?
I mean,
sort of.
I think so. I mean, there are different states that have different areas that are like, you know, because in San Francisco, which is where I am, you know, it's all, you know, because I'm up in the mountains, and you know, it's more like carefree, and everybody's just like carefree, but more so in the city, it's more like charging around and rules this, rules that, you know, charging ball, basically police this and that. Whereas where I am, I hardly hear any sirens, so it's kind of different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because
so maybe this is a more urban kind of issue than a suburban issue.
Yeah, because where I am, it's not as chaos. So, yeah.
What about you, Tara? Well, I mean, what's your take on this 64%, 30% business? Is this number mean anything, or, you know, I mean, talk to me.
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really mean much to me because I grew up with a lot of crime in the area I grew up in. Because where I grew up, there was a ton of crime growing up in the inner city of Rochester. So I'm just used to a ton of crime. So
do you think that is it an urban thing, or, you know, like more suburbians are less likely to have these kind of, you know, higher sort of recklessness with weapons? Is it more just a frequency of where you're living?
I think it's
within the US,
more where you live, what area you grew up in, like. Because now
so maybe
where I
there's
live
certain
now,
states.
there's not a lot of crime. Like in the small town I live in now, but where I grew up in when I was younger, there was a ton of crime everywhere you look.
Right. So crime kind of pushes these numbers a bit more than this is just like normal, you know, civilian versus civilian kind of crime.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, obviously, this is the Tameen 25 show, and I always want to give you guys a chance to have your opinion. Obviously, you've heard the opinion of our three guests, and you know, I want to hear your opinion as well. If you guys are watching this live, drop us a comment. If you guys are watching this afterwards, please drop a comment down below, and we'll be sure to feature it in a future podcast if we feel it's valid. So be sure to drop a comment, and I do read all the comments to check what kind of comments you guys are dropping. So, and obviously, if there's any stories you guys want us to cover, obviously be sure to come and check us out over at discord.com. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and that way you can get involved and maybe be a guest on the show as well. Anyone else want to kind of finish on anything before we move on?
No, opinions have been spread. They're good. All done.
Okay, perfect. Right, so this is the last and final part of today's podcast, and we're going to talk about, yes, KSI and the Logan Paul. Yeah, that's right. KSI and Logan Paul are trying it again, and I've got this little video to play for you guys from the infamous Keemstar, where it looks like that they're going to fight. Possibly. We're not at 100% on this. But basically, this is what's been going on with Logan Paul recently. From what it looks like, is they're planning to set up a venue at Las Vegas. If you guys haven't checked this news out, the full feature is over at Drama Alert. If you guys want to check it out, you know what you can do. Also, they posted this, which I thought was quite funny. He's there with the Money team from Money Mayweather's organization, who are getting him prepped, ready for doing a little bit of practice. It looks like KSI is not being backed by Money Mayweather, which is quite interesting, because a lot of people said that KSI and Money Mayweather they were actually quite close, but from what you can see here, it's not really the case. It seems to be a very interesting. I don't know, and not only that. I mean, it was quite funny actually, because there was a lot of talk about what is happening with Logan Paul and this KSI issue, and it looks like possibly there's a fight. I mean, Exodus, what do you think about this? Is this relevant anymore? Has this not become irrelevant yet?
I mean, I think the thing between KSI and Logan Paul should be irrelevant. He should just because he made a video like a week ago saying that he's done like playing the little games and stuff, and he's just gonna pick a new opponent. And then he said the polls are open until March 18th, and then even with the votes, he still gets to decide like who he wants to fight, even though the vote like he's just using the votes just to like help cushion his decision to
Yeah.
see like who his fans would more likely like to see him fight. But if Logan Paul is like actually being serious this time and not fucking around, I think that can be like a really good fight, and that can be one of the biggest in the world.
I mean,
YouTube.
that fight is going to be a bit of a ridiculous fight. I mean, KSI. I mean, I'm a short guy, right, guys? I'm short. If you ever meet me in real life, you'd be like, shit, T4, he's a short guy, okay? But
I'm hella tall.
this would be like me, like fighting a giant, because Logan
It'd be
Paul
like
is a
you
tall
versus me.
guy. Okay, a lot of people don't
That
realize
would
this, but
be
he's about 6'3". Okay, he's a big guy.
that would be like you versus me because I'm 6'6".
Exactly. That's exactly what it. Well, actually, obviously, KSI's a little bit taller than me, but the thing is, nonetheless, I mean,
It would be
literally,
like
it would be
David
like the
versus Goliath.
dwarf versus the giant. You know, it'd be like David
It
and
would be like
Goliath
Dwarf
or
Mamba
some
versus
shit.
Logan Paul.
What's that?
Yeah, nothing. But yeah, like the event just in general would be big because then you can have like Jake Paul and Deji like duke it out too. You can
Yeah.
have like those two like the two main events, and then
Yeah,
the
but I'll
other
be
like
honest with you,
undercard.
no matter how much training Deji gets, he'd get his ass completely smashed, okay? I mean, anyone can beat up Deji, okay? Deji is not a tough guy, okay? He's not a fighter, okay? He's a lover, okay? He's all about the love. It's not about the fighting, okay? Just listen to the laugh. The laugh's enough to kind of get you know where he's at, okay? He don't care about the fighting. Publicity maybe, but not the fighting, okay? But I mean, Holly, what do you think? Where's your take on this?
I mean, obviously, back to how it was when KSI and Joe Rella was fighting. Basically, we all thought that some people were like, "Oh yeah, well it would win," blah blah blah. But now thinking about it, Logan went to college and he got a wrestling scholarship. So he's been there. He's done that. He did.
Yeah.
He did 7 years worth of.
Mm.
I can't even remember what he did. I think he did 7 years.
It was like a
wrestling.
sports college, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
7 years. Was 7 years of wrestling was a big part of his life, you know.
Mm.
And I believe that Logan Paul is more into it than Jake because, you know, as we all know, Jake was beating around the bush and was saying,
Yeah, he's taking it more serious.
Yeah, whereas
Yeah.
Logan is.
Yeah, but do you think that'll be a fair fight? I mean, isn't that like Rocky 4 all over again? I mean, this is what it looks like to me. It's like Rocky 4. You know, he's like a short black guy versus some giant white man.
And also the thing is as well is that Logan Paul, he is a good wrestler and he's a fighter and he's a martial artist, but KSI is a boxer. There's a completely different strategy.
Discipline. And we saw that. We learned that from the Mayweather fight versus Conor McGregor. We saw, like, Conor McGregor's a tough guy, but boxing's boxing. There's no denying boxing's credibility, you know, and that's what it proved. You know, I mean, I know that McGregor is not a boxer. He came into the game, he trained and what have you, but it still shows that discipline in boxing that you must naturally have, then you kind of develop, isn't something that's easily attained. I mean, the thing is, where would your money be though? Who would you put that $100,000 on?
Probably. I mean, it's hard because the thing is that the more taller you are, the more pack of a punch you give. But then, the more muscles you have, the more strength you give. So it depends on how.
So do you think you could just wear him out?
I mean, this one's hard because the thing is, Logan Paul has done different types of disciplines, so it's very hard on this one. It's very difficult because it's like a 50-50 kind of thing. Who knows?
It is a bit like that. Even I have that kind of feeling that it would be like a 50-50 thing because if Logan connects, I reckon KSI would feel it. May not necessarily hit the ground, but he'd get hurt, you know. But then again, I don't know if he'd play the Rocky move where he'd do what Tyson used to do, is wear down his opponents. Because he talks about Mike Tyson, KSI does, and that style of boxing. But Tyson had power, like fucking animal power, you know, like it was. I mean, I remember one of the Sugar Ray saying that when Tyson hit him, he felt like a truck had hit him, you know. Like there must have been some serious full movement snap to kind of deliver that level of power to someone's body, and you'd have to stay close and in and not give Logan that reach that he would naturally have. So where we saw with the what the fuck's his name? What was that guy? I forgot his name. What was his fucking name? No, who cares? I just beat. What was his name?
Weller.
We did KSI just fight? What was his name?
Joe Weller.
Yeah, Joe. So even if, you know, like with Joe, you could see like there were even boxes. There was roughly the same height. Joe was a bit shorter. Joe went with the more, you know, like standing still kind of defensive boxing, whereas KSI was more free flowing. But he wouldn't be able to box like that with Logan because Logan's huge. You know, Logan would be able to punch him from across the ring. So he'd have to get real close. So then the boxing style would be very similar to the way Joe was, where Joe was always trying to get close to KSI. So in that respect, I don't know whether strength is more than speed. I mean, Tara, sports, your favorite subject. What do you think? Where would you put that cool $1 million? Where would you put it? KSI or in Logan Paul's pocket?
I honestly don't know because sports and me don't get along.
The honesty of Tara. She's lying, everyone. She's the biggest sports fan there is. Okay, she got all the shirts, all the hats. She even got the sneakers to go with it. Okay, don't listen to her. But I mean, the thing is, did you get to see the boxing match between KSI and Joe?
I did. I watched it because you said to.
Okay, don't say that out loud. She didn't watch it because I said so.
No.
Okay, she did it out of her own will.
Because you were doing a live stream and we watched it together, and I was supposed
Trying
to
to
do
kill me over here.
the thing, but I was busy. Remember?
I mean, the thing is, this is what would happen in this kind of match. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people know that Logan and KSI, this would be a massive event. I mean, I think it would be bigger than SpaceX. It would be fucking huge, because Logan is huge on the platform and KSI is also massive on the platform. I mean, what do you think, Exodus? Who would win?
I mean, just because he actually has just boxing and not wrestling experience, I would go with KSI just because, like, like the stuff he was able to do in 4 months with zero boxing experience. Imagine what he can do with another 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like the trainer he can pay for and all that. Like, he can get some high tier trainer to help him.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that? Is it the same thing that happened with what was happening with Joe, where everyone was backing Joe because he was the favorite, and KSI was the underdog who had it all to prove that he could beat Joe, and he did. Is it the same thing again that we're backing the underdog? We want the underdog to win. We want him to be the victorious one. We don't want the one that we know would probably win to win. We'd want the guy who probably is going to lose to kick the other guy's ass. Is that what it is?
For me right now, yeah, kind of. Because KSI is Chris even 6 feet, and if Logan Paul 6 feet, that's like 3 inches can play a lot in an event like that. Like, because reach is everything in boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
because he can play the distance game. He can just run around the ring.
Yeah.
Run around the ring jabbing,
Exactly.
pretty much.
Exactly.
But I mean, the thing is, if you had the money, if you had that cool $3.5 million, where would you be placing it? Is it really firmly on KSI?
I mean, I want to say KSI, but at the same time, just for like the reach and the height, I also want to say Logan Paul. So it's like, for me right now, it's kind of split even. I want to see where they are, like on the press conference, like the day before the fight. I want to see like what the physique and stuff is like on that day.
Yeah.
That would be
or
like
even the build up, like the sort of.
That would be like a bet at me like the day before.
Yeah, no, but even training. I mean, literally, I was watching even before the KSI Joe Weller fight. I was watching the build up. Like KSI's training, and I was watching Joe's training, and there was a big difference. I mean, I was like, KSI's gonna kick his ass because you could see like the kind of like animal side coming out. Like he really wanted to win. There was no questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what about you, Crazy? I mean, there's a question that has come into my mind and has been bugging me a little bit, and it's to do with Money Mayweather. I mean, it's a bit weird because I thought KSI and Money Mayweather were quite tight, from things that's happened in the past and from what Floyd has been like with KSI. But then to see Logan and Jake getting the big handshake from the man himself, and then, Logan saying that he's going to get trained up by Money Mayweather's team. I mean, what's going on?
Mm.
I mean, it's. I mean, he's the biggest guy in boxing, and you think he'd back the biggest guy in boxing on the YouTube platform, but not really. I mean,
I know.
what do you think? I mean, what's your opinion?
I mean, I think as well, like the Paul brothers are probably just trying to get on KSI's, like probably trying to make him feel, or they think they're going to try and make him feel like scared, like, oh, I'm like the best boxer ever, so I'll be able to get that high quality training where you're just going to go to an ordinary gym and just train up ordinarily. That's probably what they're thinking.
What do you think, Exodus? Oh,
I mean,
go on,
yeah,
go on, Holly. What? No, 1 second. Holly was finishing. I jumped in there. Go on, Holly. What was you saying?
Yeah, they're probably thinking at the moment, yeah, I'm going to get that high quality training, like I'm going to get like the best of the best training from like the best of the best boxer. Whereas you're just going to go with your little team to your little gym and with your little low quality training.
Your UK, your England is my city entourage.
Yeah, that's probably what they're trying to do. They're probably trying to make him jealous and piss him off.
So do you think they're playing mind games?
Probably, yeah, to play mind games on him. But you know what? Probably KSI don't rise to it. He's quite a down to earth kind of guy.
It's fixed. Yeah. What do you think, Exodus? I mean, what do you want to add to what Holly's already said?
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I pretty much agree. Like, I think that they're trying to use Floyd Mayweather as like a scare tactic to like be like, ooh, yeah, we got the best, dude. You can't get this. So, like, I just think they're trying to use it just as like a scare tactic, just to get in like his head.
I mean, the thing is, we saw this. We've seen this before, when Floyd was facing Conor McGregor, because obviously Conor McGregor, throughout his MMA career, used that mind sort of tactic on his opponents to kind of get them to, to kind of lose before they get in the ring. So by the time they got into the octagon, they'd lost already. Conor had already won because he'd already played the fight outside of the octagon by fucking with their brain. And we saw the reverse of this when it was Floyd versus McGregor, where McGregor did the same shit. He played the same game. He did the same, ruthlessness, as it were, that he used to do in MMA, but it had no impact on Floyd, which everybody was like, oh, this must be pissing him off. It must be annoying him, blah, blah, blah. But when it came to the ring side, everybody saw that shit. Like, none of this talk did anything to this guy. He is like a legend in this field of boxing. I mean, he beat Muhammad Ali's title of 49-0. He beat it by being the only guy who's ever done 50-0. That's ridiculous. So, is there a mind game that will... I mean, is KSI on the same flex? Does he have that sort of balance where this ain't... he knows what he's capable of and there's no fear. So, they can say whatever they want. Ain't going to do much to his actual mood. Because I've been watching some of his videos recently and he doesn't seem to be fazed by any of this shit.
No.
I mean, is that the same thing? Is that what's going on? Let me know. Tell me.
Probably, yeah. I mean, like, he's probably just thinking, well, this is it, it's all come down to this now. And to be honest, and the funny thing, the most funniest thing is all these people that have wanted to fight KSI. I watched a video of all the people that wanted to fight him, like what's his name? Wasabi, Alex Wasabi, Fusi Chu. There was Furious Pete. All these people that wanted to fight, and KSI just sat there and laughed and was just like, how do you think personally you can easily beat me? And he was saying, look how fucked up Joella. Now you're going to get exactly the
You're
same.
going to run your mouth as well. Because Joe's gone quiet after this fight. You know, no one's heard shit from Joe. Joe's channel is kind of like, he's gone pretty dormant on the channel. What was you going to say, Exodus?
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna say like, I don't know. You're probably hearing my sister playing in the background.
Oh, okay. Hey, little sister, playing in the background. Right. Is there anything else anybody wanted to add to this story before we move on?
Nope, not really. I put my information in.
Everybody good? Everybody good? Good. Right. Right. This is a segment where you guys get a chance to bring up any kind of topics you guys wanted to talk about. So Crazy said that she had some bits she wanted to talk about on this particular part of the segment. What did you want to bring up?
Oh my god, this has been going on in the news all week. The KFC crisis.
KFC! Holy shit! If you haven't heard about this, oh my, where have you been living? I mean,
I must have been living
black
in
people have
not heard
been
about
committing
any KFC.
suicide left,
Do you know,
right, and center.
everybody-
Okay, people have lost their minds. Okay, no KFC. I mean,
I am
Jesus. Oh, you're lost.
I
She's
am
lost.
lost.
Okay, because Tara doesn't know much about what's happened with this KFC scandal. Crazy. Why don't you tell us all about it?
So basically, what happened was KFC decided to switch their delivery drivers, they're basically delivery companies, to a UK-based delivery company called DHL. Now, DHL, basically KFC said, well, this is how much chicken we want. Can you deliver it to all the branches? And DHL was like, sure. No, the chicken is still sitting in the DHL delivery. So what's going to happen? The chicken's going to sit there. KFC can't sell no chicken. So that's what's basically happened, because apparently it was due to operational issues with the firm DHL. So basically, it's not KFC's fault. It's DHL not delivering the chicken to KFC so that they can cook it, so that they can get it out to us customers.
So, did you get that?
Yep.
Yes.
What? So, did you guys see like the KFC stores were actually closed?
Do you know what made me laugh though?
And people were losing their mind over it.
No,
Did you guys not see that?
I didn't.
No, because I don't really eat KFC, so I don't really like pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Literally 300. Okay, 300 KFC branches are still closed as chicken storage continues to be at its lowest. I mean, literally, this is, you can't even write this stuff. This stuff is something out of a sci-fi movie. But
Is this in the UK or the US?
this was
In the
I don't
UK.
actually. Oh, it was over here. That's why you guys didn't hear about it. It was over here. So there was more than 600 of KFC's nearly 900 outlets are now open following days of chicken shortages across country due to new delivery contract. So as Crazy Holes was reporting, there is they took out a new contract with DHL, and literally they fucked up on the deliveries. Couldn't get the chicken in, and it all got just left in the factory, basically.
Yeah.
And because it got left in the factory, nothing was coming in. Nothing came in, and before you knew it, I think one of you is listening to the stream because I can hear it echoing.
I'm not listening.
No.
I'm not leaving on the stream.
Crazy?
No, I'm not listening to it.
Oh, I can hear the echo.
Nope.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is going to be great. You're going to hear the echo right to the end of today's stream. Fucking stupid. Goddamn
But
stupid
no,
ass.
there was one video on YouTube which I watched,
Yep.
and this
Mm.
guy went into Asda and he saw the poor dudes. Like, I kind of felt sorry for the dudes. They went into a shopping store called Asda, and
Yep.
they
And Asda's owned by Walmart, so that just
yeah,
makes it a bit more relevant.
basically they went into Asda and this guy went literally right up into their faces and was laughing because they had to get a shopping trolley and literally buy him from Asda to take to KFC so that they can actually.
So if you guys don't get it, right, they had to go to Asda's, which is like a Walmart or a Target or whatever. No, it's not like a Target. It's like Walmart or like any supermarket, a food supermarket. They had to buy the chicken from them to go back to the store of KFC to be able to produce KFC's magical KFC chicken. And I'm not even lying, okay? People were losing their minds. I mean, there was mums and dads and kids who didn't even know how to function, okay, because 300 of their beautiful KFC stores were closed. And it's only for one day, but Jesus, did it show what would happen if KFC didn't work for a day. I mean, you know, Jesus Christ, find another chicken shop. But yeah.
But then the thing is, a lot of people were saying, like, a lot of because I watch the news, sometimes I watch the news in the UK, like on the UK side of it, and on the ITV news side of it, like the show, it was saying, like, what's going to happen to the employers? Like, how are they still going to get paid? You know, and some of the, on the ITV news, on its show there, it said some of the branches said, you guys just basically have to go on holiday. But
I know. I mean, it is bad. I'm not going to lie. It is bad.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, employees, because they can't technically do a job, which is produce chicken and sell it to customers, KFC is like, you gotta take holiday, you know, if you want to get paid, or just take it as unpaid leave.
Yeah.
Which I think is a massive issue. I mean, there should be. I'm pretty adamant there's going to be some sort of lawsuit that's going to come out over this shit, because hell no is people not getting paid when it's not even their fault. Okay, that KFC couldn't make sure the supplier was going to bring their chicken in on time. I mean, this is stupid as beyond stupid. With such a massive brand, and the thing is, this is why in America KFC isn't as popular as it used to be. You know, it's because of shit like this. I mean, England are just following. You know, we're next. We're just following this shit. So it's just inevitable that it's going to end up like this as well over here, because you know. They are not doing enough to attract people to their restaurants, you know.
And the thing is, as well, is that I saw two things. I saw one lady, she put up a video of her saying that she had to drive all the way to Burger King to go and get burgers or something like that. And that she was just having a right outrage at KFC by saying, you lot are like the most biggest industry, you should be able to sort this out and blah blah blah. But what people are not understanding is it's not KFC's fault. It's their new delivery firm.
Yeah, but it's their deal. You know, you can't take no responsibility for your actions.
No.
You know, you're the guys who run the business. You're the ones who make the decisions who's bringing that shit in and who's not. Okay, you're paying a fortune for that. And the thing is, your customers are paying for you to be able to do that. And then you fuck it up. And then the people who are suffering, not necessarily your customers, because, you know, they're not the only thing. The thing that's not that is suffering is your business. You know, the customer doesn't lose anything. They're going to keep some of their money, but your employees, you tell them they're not going to get paid unless they take holiday. I mean, that's just fucking stupid. I mean, that's just administration issues right there. You know, it's just dumb. So that was the story that Crazy Holes wanted to talk about. Did you, or Exodus or Tara, want to add to the psychoticness? You see what will drive the UK into the ground? Just shut down KFC. Fucked. Everything's finished. Okay, America, you gotta go shoot up a school. Over here, just shut down a chicken franchise. That's it. Everyone loses their fucking mind. So, Tara, get ready. Okay, you're coming here this year.
I might change my plan.
KFC is shut down. I don't know.
Bring a bucket of KFC with you just in case.
Yeah.
If this happened here, I don't like eat fried chicken.
Yeah, so what do you think, Exodus? What was you saying?
I was saying, like, even if this crisis happened here, like, I don't really eat KFC or fried chicken in general, so it wouldn't really affect me.
Same here.
And what about you, Tara?
Same as Exodus.
There we go. America, you'll be fine. Just stop killing each other with weapons and you'll be fine. England are fucked, okay? Just stop KFC and that's it.
But the thing that I don't understand is
over.
The thing that I don't understand is this is how low people can get. The British people can get. They were actually phoning the police to say that there's a KFC crisis and that they're all closed. And they even put a tweet out to say, for those who contacted the police about KFC being out of chicken, please stop.
Oh my god.
Don't contact us about the KFC crisis.
It's too funny, man.
It's not a police
I mean, I live in this country, okay? I know how fucked up people are over here, but man, just fucking make your own KFC. Jesus, not even that hard. But anyway. Oh man. Anyway, everyone loved that finger licking chicken, right? But right. What was the other story you wanted to talk about? Or was that the only one?
The Olympics. You know, the Olympics that's going on.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah. Well, the winter ones, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, I love the Winter Olympics.
Did you hear about the drug test that's happened with the Russians?
Not that I heard of, but...
Okay, so what was you going to talk about? There is a bit of a Russian scandal at the moment, but go on.
Okay. Yeah, there was a guy. His name is... let me think. Gus Kenworthy. He's the American... He's the American dude that... I don't know what sport he does, but he's in the Olympics at the moment. With obviously the Korean... It's not a nice thing to talk about, but it's the Korean dog meat trade. And yeah, and basically he decided to adopt a puppy from one of the dog meat trades. And I just thought that cute little fluff ball is gonna have a whole year or 2 years to live before it's basically going to get killed for it to go on someone's plate. And I thought, I can't.
That's to do around with the big tradition that happens in it's in China. I'm sure it's in China where they have a big dog eating fest.
Yeah,
where they eat dogs.
I don't like that. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. There was a massive. I actually watched there was a massive documentary on it of how they apparently they have this tradition because of the amount of stray dogs that are in China. But what this documentary found was that the dog supply is actually becoming it's actually less like from stray dogs. Right over here where we have kennels and you can, rescue a pet and whatever. Over there, their solution is to eat the fucking animal. But the thing is, what they found is that the supply of those animals, those stray dogs, are actually in short supply. So you've got these people now who are going out luring owners' dogs to be illegally sort of taken because they've left their premises, or they say that they didn't have a tag on, or whatever the fuck. Even to the degree where owners were actually, because they had their pets tracked and whatever, they'd actually find them in the market. How fucked up is that? Imagine finding your pet in the fucking market, dog market. Jesus.
But then some of them, like you said, some of them are not even stray. Some of them are like owners' pets, and some of them they're not even lured. Sometimes they're just literally, they could be standing at the gate and they could literally be yanked from the gate and literally they just run with them.
I mean, for pet owner and designer, it's just crazy. I mean, did you guys hear about this Exodus or Tara?
No.
I mean, what's your opinion on eating dogs, Tara?
That's disgusting and cruel.
Are you sure it's not like it could be like a delicacy?
Oh no!
I can't even know.
You know, I'm just like, literally, I'm looking at my dog right now, and I'm just like, I can't.
Just imagine it with an apple in its mouth on a spit roast, okay? That's all you gotta imagine.
No.
I mean, Jesus Christ, there's so many fucking animals you can eat. A fucking dog. Jesus, what is wrong? Exodus, what do you think? Should we eat dogs for a living?
Should we? No, but Asians eat fucking everything.
I mean,
fucking people in Asia will eat like pretty much anything.
But I mean, the choice that we have to eat, like animals that we choose to eat, that we have the choice of eating from. I mean, of all the animals you could choose to eat from, a fucking dog. I mean, really?
Come on, look at those. Look at that crisis that went back about, I think it was 2-3 years ago in the UK, where every bit of meat was horse meat.
Yeah, exactly. The horse meat scandal. Fuck me. Jesus. I mean, you see a beautiful creature running, it helps carry your. I mean, you imagine someone jumping on your fucking back and taking you up a mountain or some shit, and then, like the horse is just naturally doing it. It's designed to do it. And then you find that it's a fucking in and out. I mean, what the hell? What the fuck? Could you imagine?
We had a Chinese restaurant that was closed down because they were serving horse meat here.
That's insane. I mean, I understand. I understand that animals get old, they die. What do you do with it? You can't bury everything, right? So you turn it into produce. You might sell it to, dog industry to make dog food with, which we know it happens. But human consumption, where's the limit? I mean, if people want horse meat, fine. But unknowingly feeding people horse meat just because it's cheaper for your business or some shit. I
mean, there's also that myth as well where, like the horse races, like the horse racing, they say, yeah, the horse gets killed, in a dog tin it goes.
Yeah. No.
That myth.
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is that there is some. I mean, we know that horse meat is used in pet food. It's just that's one of its disposals that they use it in. But your dog eating horse meat isn't like you eating horse meat. It's a different thing. I mean, that's an animal eating an animal. In the wild, that happens anyway. We know lions eat gazelles and zebras, and a zebra's pretty much a fucking horse anyway. So, the comparisons isn't the same. Human beings slightly different. We have the option to choose, to eat that. But if you're secretly being, I mean, you imagine, man, fuck the horse meat. Imagine if it was dog meat that you're eating. You would be fucking sick for days if you knew you were eating dog meat in a restaurant. You know, I
Oh,
mean
well.
that would be fucked up. And the thing is, this is the thing. This is the thing. You know, like where do people draw the moral line? You know, where do we draw that line that says, okay, this is not right now? You know, because I wouldn't want that.
No.
You know, even the way that the like, animals are treated within slaughterhouses, within kennels and places out there. You know, there's so much abuse because the thing can't talk or anything like that. You know,
Right. And
it's
the
we
thing,
like dehumanize ourselves from these
mm,
things. You know, and what we have to remember is that we're putting that shit in our own mouth. We're gonna eat that.
mm,
You know,
and the,
and I think people just forget that the animal itself has feelings. It has, whatever it is, a fucking cow. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
It knows when it's in pain. You know,
And the thing is, as well,
and
I saw one video. Oh my gosh, I had to stop it halfway through. It was
yeah,
like a flat cage, no word of a lie, a flat cage, and a guy just literally shoved 30 dogs into that flat cage. It didn't matter what dogs it were, big, small, medium. All the dogs had to lay
yeah.
down.
I think I know the video. That was in China though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah, they
like,
were just shoving him in there, just no matter, like hundreds of dogs. It didn't matter. Didn't
oh,
matter. I mean, I'm not a dog owner. I wouldn't say I'm either a dog lover or a dog hater. I'm a kind of like an in between guy. I think it depends on the dog. You know, um, like if a dog's vicious, I'm just like fuck off. But if a dog's nice, I'm like, hey, dog's nice. But I think the thing is that there's still we should be still see we should be humane about these things. You know, and I think that's what's missing. You know,
yeah,
in a lot of these cases is like that dehumanization, just like with this violence that's going on with the school shootings, or whether it's KFC shutting down because it's not got enough chicken. Is people are forgetting that we're all people. Everybody, we're all here on the same planet, trying to exist side by side. We're trying to get things done. Everybody wants the same things. Everyone wants to be able to eat. Everyone wants to be able to live. Everyone wants to be able to have a roof over themselves. And all these kind of factions that we talk about on the podcast, is to kind of like show the kind of desensitization of human nature, and that we need to come back to realizing that we are all human beings, all of us. And this is why I spend so much time on my channel trying to sort of break away the stereotype of like I'm a Muslim man, and you'll see a picture of a Muslim man, it's a certain way, but when people get to know me, they're like, Jesus Christ, you're just like the guy next door. You're not any different. And it's just trying to get people to realize that, look, you want to know about someone, go and see that person that you know. Don't go and see some stranger who lives in some foreign land that you have never heard of or visited or seen, and then imagine why they're so weird. It's just stupid. It is. It's ridiculous. But was there any? I mean, obviously the 2 points that Crazy Horse brought up about KFC, about what was the first one? I've forgotten. Oh no, about KFC was the first one, and about the dog eating contest over the Winter Olympics. Let us know what's your opinion. Drop it down below. If you're watching us live, if you're watching us on the playback, drop us a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear from you guys, and obviously those comments that prove worthy, we may retouch on them on the following podcast. Was there any other crazy stories, Crazy Holes?
No, I think we've pretty much covered them all. I don't know if Tara and Exodus or Tara has any stories.
What about you, young kids? Any stories you wanted to bring up, Exodus?
You young whippersnappers. I mean, that's like a news story. No, not really.
No, anything. It doesn't have to. I mean, the thing is, bear in mind, this isn't a new show. This is just a podcast. This is just for us to talk. You know, this is just a different way. You know, people get together, we chat. They could be in the chat, typing away on their keyboard or on their phone or their tablet. Or there might be a guest. They might be lucky enough to be in my close
One
circle
of
of
us.
subscribers who get to come in and chat instead, and you can hear their opinion. So, I mean, you know, it could be anything, Exodus. It could be anything.
I really, honestly, like, just because I haven't really told many people, I just want to tell the story about like how I injured my knees and the surgery and all that. Like,
Okay, we'll come to
people are
that.
just like,
So bear with me. We'll come back to you on that. So Exodus wants to give us a lot of little story about how he hurt his knee. If you don't know much about Exodus is a hockey player, and he busted his fucking knee. And
both of
basically,
them.
it's a pretty long story. I mean, I know a lot about it because he told us about it. He's been, I mean, this is how I discovered the channel. He'll tell us about that as well. It'd be quite an interesting little story. Tara,
Yeah.
any stories? Anything you want to tell us about? Any news that we don't know?
No, just about that nasty candy bar.
Oh yeah, very good. Right, Tara brought something up really interesting earlier on before we started the podcast. She actually posted something which was quite interesting, and I'll show you what she posted, and it was the. Let me see if I can type this. What's this? P. Yep. P. A. Peanut. And. Oh. Right. This is a. Was it Pretzel's ice cream?
No, it was
No,
a
was it?
Hershey's chocolate bar.
Yeah, it wasn't an ice cream. Why the hell have they brought up ice cream? That's so random. Anyway, yeah. So let me just show you this quickly, because this was absolutely. Here it is. The most beautiful chocolate known to mankind. Right. Let me just take this off so you guys can see it. Right. So if you guys can see this beautiful Hershey's
Ugh.
Gold.
Ugh.
It's
Yeah.
peanuts and pretzel.
Ugh.
Caramelized cream. It sounds delicious at 220 calories, but I'll tell you what, it's fucking awful.
It
It's the
is.
most disgusting chocolate they make. Okay, Hershey's. Okay, I have their chocolate and I like it. I mean, it's really hard to get in England, but there is a couple of places you can buy it over here, and it's delicious. I think it's like one of the best chocolate makers in the world. But this particular flavor that they've gone with, I mean, Tara will tell us all about this little experience that she had today. I mean, she was she was more passionate about this than I've ever seen her passionate about anything. So I'm gonna let her take the floor and talk us through the Hershey's Gold peanuts and pretzel disaster from earlier on today. Take it away, Tara.
Um, it, normally Hershey candy is actually really good, and I thought the sound of it sounded like it would be good, but I took a bite of it and it was horrible. The consistency alone was disgusting.
What about the flavor?
The
Did you
flavor
get
was
the
nasty.
Did you get the peanuts and pretzel flavor?
Oh,
It was disgusting. Crazy had it too. It was just horrible.
yeah. 1 minute I was tasting peanuts, next I was tasting pretzels, and it was just all mixed together with caramel. Didn't know whether it was sweet or salty.
Right. It was just nasty. It's like,
Oh,
which way do you go
Jesus.
with it? I mean, salty
This
and
is the
sweet
color of
normally
the
go
bar
good
inside
together,
it. This is
but
what it looks like inside. It breaks up like this if you haven't seen a Hershey's bar before. And oh my god, it just looks like it was fucking disgusting just by the
yeah,
color of the bar.
it's horrible.
It's a fucking vomit.
Yeah. Like, what did they
Oh
do?
man.
They like ruined chocolate for me altogether.
I don't know why. I mean, they did such a good job, you know. I mean, Exodus, have you had the Hershey's Gold Peanuts and Pretzel flavor?
I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest, because you posted a picture.
Well, you know what? Grab yourself a bar, have a little taste, and report
Uh,
back on next
I
week's
mean,
podcast and let us know where you stand. Are you a lover or are you a hater of the brand new Hershey's Gold limited edition peanuts and pretzels at 220 calories? Is it worth the calories? Probably not, according
Absolutely
to
not.
Crazy Holmes
Voldemort,
and
Ireland,
Tara K.
it's Voldemort.
Uh, if
He
you
shall
guys have
not be
tried
named.
Hershey's chocolate, let us know. What's your favorite flavor and what was your
Yes,
worst? Is it what we reviewed today or
you want
is it
picture?
something completely different? Let us know. This might become a hot topic on the podcast. So that was Tara's little rant that she wanted to talk about with Hershey's. We're gonna make a massive complaint to them now and write out a petition. Please come and sign it. Links in the description down below. We're gonna take this shit to the top, bitches. That's right. That's how we do it. Okay, we
We're
start
taking it
small,
to the
we work
Supreme
big.
Court.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Exodus, we're going to come back to Exodus D on the story
What
of
up?
his knee. Now, listen closely,
Gee.
boys and girls. This is a tragic story, but with a happy ending.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was 15 or 16 playing for my high school hockey team back my freshman year. And then my very first practice on the team, I was going from skating backwards to skating forward, and then somewhere between there, my knee just completely I just felt something crack and pop, and I crumbled to the ground, and I just crawled back to the bench like a baby, like on all fours. And then I found out like months later that my knee actually dislocated, and it was out to the side of my leg at this point. And then it
Oh,
took,
shit.
and then it took. Let's see. I went to two different doctors. One of them, he wouldn't do it because my white blood cell count was so high. But the reason we found out why it was so high was because of the irritation to my knee because it was dislocated, and like it was like rubbing against the bone,
Oh,
like unnaturally. And then
that sounds
the
painful.
first doctor, it was, and the first doctor literally straight up told my mom to get me checked for any like STDs or anything.
What?
And yeah, like he literally asked my mom to check me for like any type of like STDs or anything. And then we went to and then we
Ma'am,
went to
we
my
think your
primary.
son's been raped.
And then we went to my primary doctor and we asked him if they can go to an ear doctor to get a second opinion. And this doctor told us to go to a hematologist, which is someone that like looks at blood and stuff and figures out like what's wrong. And he said it's high because of the irritation to my knee. And then by the time we got back, that doctor either quit or got fired. And then the first doctor
I'll go with the
replaced him at the
fired.
outside office. And then the first doctor replaced the second doctor. And then he said, and then he said he wouldn't do it because he's not what is it, sports orthopedic. He was just a normal like knee doctor. Then they ended up having me go to the hospital around here in California called Chalk, which is for Children's Hospital of Orange County. And then from the very first time we went in there, he said that he would do the surgery. And then this past April, I got my left knee done. And then this past December, I got my right knee done. I got both knees done. I'm just doing the PT for them.
So, the moral of the
Mm.
story, kids, is don't play
Moral of the
hockey.
story: don't fuck up. Moral of the story: don't fuck up your knees. You're gonna have a bad time. But yeah, basically, don't play hockey, dude.
So,
Hockey is
I mean, the
dangerous.
thing is,
You can end
there's some
up passing
passion
your
there,
both
okay?
with two knee surgeries.
you know what it is? I love this story of Exodus because I didn't realize. I mean, Exodus. Do you want to tell us how you came to find the Tamim 25 channel?
Sure. So before I got my first surgery in April, I say it was about December of the year before, or it was about September, October of the year before, so 2016. I was just going through Twitch and stuff because I was bored and all my friends were in school. I was like, let's see if there's anybody that's doing like in this open lobby. And then I came across 2 or 3 different channels, but all of them were like reruns from my previous streams. And then I came across you, and then you said, if you want to play with me, just make sure you subscribe and leave and send me a friend request. And I'll make sure you subscribe. And then I did that, and I joined you, and ever since then, it's been like kind of a staple, I guess.
And literally, when he went into surgery, he was at the hospital. He was watching every video. We kept him entertained in hospital
You actually
while he
did,
was going through surgery and recovery.
for sure. Yeah. Every night before I go up to bed for like 2 hours, I'll be like, fuck it. Before, just use the homie as well.
I mean,
Support the homie.
it's an incredible story, really. I mean, the journey you've gone through with your knee is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it shows dedication, okay? And dedication is paramount in the
sure.
world, okay? If you're passionate, if you're driven, if you want to see the end to something, you're going to see it all the way through. If you give up halfway, if you're going to give up halfway, there's no point, okay? And Exodus is one of these young kids that I've seen coming up and literally, I mean, hopefully you'll be a world-star hockey player one day, rolling in millions and millions of dollars from his surgery that he had. He'd be able to tell, he'd be writing this book, okay, about how he hurt his knee and it changed his life. Revolution his outcome.
I should write a book and then say about how fucking you changed everything.
All I'm gonna say is that it happened here first,
write a
okay?
book.
You heard it here first, okay? Nowhere else. He told it here first. So when he releases that book, I'll probably be like 60. So let me know. Hit me up in those DMs so that I can claim my royalty.
I'll hit you up in the DMs and I'll send you a free copy. I got you.
Awesome. Right. Anyway, if you guys want to join us on next week's podcast, you know what you need to do. You need to slap a like on the video. You need to subscribe, as always, with notifications switched on. With those notifications switched on, that will sort you out for definite, without question. So please be sure to be here. We normally will be live streaming tomorrow and Sunday. Roleplay GTA 5 live. On the PS4 and the PS3, but unfortunately, due to my current situation with my throat, I can't do much screaming and shouting because it really ruins my throat for the following week. So I'm taking a little bit of break from the mad live streams that we do on a Saturday and Sunday. But we still run the podcast because I don't really need to use much of my voice to do this. It's really more of a contribution from the guys who join me as guests and from you guys who drop your comments down in the comment section of the live stream. But we'll be here next Friday, guys, as always, with more podcast mayhem. Be sure to join us. We have got we'll be discussing some new and upcoming brand spanking new stuff never heard before. Only here you hear it live with me and the T4 Army. I want to do a big shout out and a big thanks to my guests today. Big shout out goes out to obviously Crazy Holes for joining us again all the way from America. Thanks for joining us, Crazy.
Hello, goodbye.
And also I want to say a massive shout out to Exodus D for all his contributions on today's show and for being a wonderful co-host.
Anytime.
And last but not least, the girl with the voice like a child. It's Tara K. Thank you, Tara. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
So we'll be back next week. Be sure to be here or be square. As always, don't forget to go check out the sponsor links down below. We have got your amazing controls sorted. You want a custom controller? You know what to do. Hit it down below. Okay, it's down below in the section in the description. Cinch Gaming is your people. Okay, yeah, they're gonna give you that awesome discount with the code T4Army. Be sure to go check them out. Also, don't forget to go check out if you want the cheapest PS Plus, Xbox Live, or games. Go and check out CD Keys. Cheapest you'll find anywhere. Be sure to check them out if you haven't done so before. And also, don't forget to go check out Razer.com for your up-to-date computer and accessories needs. Also, using the discount code T4Army to grab yourself an awesome little deal. Also, don't forget to go check out the biggest... excuse me. The biggest sponsor of the channel, and that is obviously the merch. Don't forget to go check out the merchandise store. It's what brings the most amount of money to the channel to be able to help us to continue doing these shows for you guys on a weekly basis. So be sure to go check that out. Brand spanking new merchandise. I can't stress that enough. It's new, guys. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. T4Army shop. It's at the top of the screen. Just click on that little icon and it'll take you straight to the store. Everything has 15% off at the moment up until the 25th of February. So please don't delay it. If you want to order something, order it now because you will miss out otherwise. Apart from that, that's pretty much it. We got G2A.com over at Twitch. Be sure to go check them out. They're not that good, but, you know, they're a sponsor. They do their job. And their games are pretty cheap compared to CD Keys, but... PS Plus can't be beaten on CD Keys. I'm telling you that now. But that's it. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching. For those of you who watched us live, and for those of you who watched us afterwards, where the fuck was you for the live? Maybe you didn't subscribe to the second channel. The second channel is the T4Army. Go and search it. Go and hit that subscribe button over there. It's the secondary backup channel. If you're wondering why the fuck did I do it on my backup channel, it's because the primary channel live stream got taken away because YouTube like to rape small YouTubers nowadays. And it's like Pizzagate, but YouTube style. Welcome. I'm the child in the scenario. So anyway, we'll be back next week. But until then, guys, as always, stay safe, stay awesome, and peace.